Hello, I am Lisa Chatterjee, Associate Professor and Head of the Department of English, Brahmananda Keshab Chandra College. It is a pleasure for me to say a few introductory words regarding this audio. As we all know that 27th March is the World Theatre Day. It is celebrated all over the world. This year, on 27th March 2020, the students and teachers of the Department of English, Brahmananda Keshab Chandra College, Kolkata, decided to mark the occasion by posting audios of themselves reading parts from different plays. The audios by the different participants in this audio have been posted on WhatsApp from their own homes. And then it has been collated by our 4th semester English Honours student Pritam Majumdar. I myself have read the famous speech by Mark Antony from William Shakespeare's play Julius Caesar. I hope you will like this audio from all of us as a tribute to theatre, theatre professionals, theatre studies, and theatre lovers. Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. Act 3, Scene 2. The speech is spoken by Mark Antony. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously had Caesar answered it. Here under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure he is an honorable man. I speak not to disapprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
So, I would like to read out a passage from William Shakespeare's As You Like It, where the main concern lies in the fact that we do strangest of things when we are in love. And Shakespeare, being Shakespeare, quite wonderfully establishes the fact that this foolishness or lame activity which we perform, having those butterflies in our stomach or while having a love affair, for instance, these foolishness in those love affairs or the feeling of love is also considered as a living material or a living being like you and me. So, through the speech of Touchstone in Act 2, Scene 4, Shakespeare quite skillfully explains how this foolishness in love can be treated as a living being. So, the speech of Touchstone goes on like this. And I mine. I remember when I was in love, I broke my sword upon a stone and bid him take that for coming a night to Jane's mile. And I remember the kissing of her battler and the cow's dugs that her pretty chopped hands had milked. And I remember the wooing of a peace cord instead of her, from whom I took 2 cords and, giving her them again, said with weeping tears, were these for my sake? We that are true lovers run into strange capers. But as all is mortal in nature, so is all nature in love mortal in folly.
Macbeth by William Shakespeare. Act 1, Scene 5. The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the axes and passage to remorse, that no compunctions visiting of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breasts and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, whatever in your sightless substances, you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark, to cry, hold, hold!
O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. 'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Or be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called. Retain that dear perfection which he owes without the title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all myself.
As You Like It, written by William Shakespeare. Act 2, Scene 7. All the world's a stage. All the world's a stage, and all men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and punking in the nurse's arms, then the winning schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with an awful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the bard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubbled reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly with good cap and lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful hose, well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice turning again to a childish treble. Pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange, eventful history. Is second childishness and mere oblivion? Sans state, sans eyes, sans test, sans everything. Thank you.
Richard II by William Shakespeare. Act 3, Scene 2. For within the hollow crown that rounds the mortal temples of a king keeps death his coat, and there the antique sits, scoffing his state and grinning at his pomp, allowing him a breath, a little scene to monarchize, be feared and kill with looks, infusing him with self and vain conceit, as if this flesh which walls about our life were brass impregnable, and humour does come at the end with a little pin, bows to his castle wall, and farewell, king. Cover your heads, and mock not flesh and blood. With solemn reverence, throw away respect, tradition, form, and ceremonious duty, for you have but mistook me all this while. I live with bread like you, feel want, taste grief, need friends, subjected thus. How can you say to me, I am king?
I read out a few lines from Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, Act 1, Scene 5. Duke Orsino's messenger has arrived at the gate of Lady Olivia's palace. With this news enters Sir Toby Belch, Lady Olivia's kinsman, who is almost always drunk. Olivia: by mine honor, half drunk. What is he at the gate, cousin? A gentleman. A gentleman? What gentleman? It's a gentleman here. A plague on this pickle herring. He suddenly marks Feste, the fool. How now, sot? Feste: good Sir Toby. Olivia: cousin, how have you come so early by this lethargy? Lechery? I defy lechery. There is one at the gate. Ay, Mary, what is he? Let him be the devil, and he will. I cannot. Give me faith, say I. Well, it's all one. And exits Sir Toby.
Macbeth, Act 5, Scene 5. She should have died hereafter. There would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow? And tomorrow. And tomorrow, Chris, and this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all the restarters have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle, less but a walking shadow, poor player that charts and phrases all upon the stage, and then is heard no more. Is the tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Comedy of Errors, written by William Shakespeare. Act 2, Scene 1, The House of Antipholus of Ephesus. Enter Adriana and Luciana. Adriana. Neither my husband nor the slave returned, that in such haste I sent to see his master. Sure, Luciana, it's 2 o'clock. Luciana. Perhaps some merchant hath invited him, and from the mart he is somewhere gone to dinner. Good sister, let us dine, and never fret. A man is master of his liberty. Time is their master, and when they see the time, they will go or come. If so, be patient, sister. Adriana. Why should their liberty than ours be more? Luciana. Because their business still lies out of the door. Adriana. Look, when I serve him so, he takes it ill. Then Luciana. Oh, no, he is the bridle of your wheel. Adriana. There's none but ashes will be bridled so. Then Luciana. Why? Headstrong liberty is lashed with awe. There's nothing situate under the heaven's eye, but hath his bound in the earth, in sea, in sky. The beasts, the fishes, and the winged fowls are their males subjects, and at their controls men more divine, the masters of all these, lords of the wide world and wild watery seas, endued with intellectual sense and souls, of more preeminence than fish and fowls, are masters to their females and their lords. Then let your will attend on their accords. Adriana. This servitude makes you to keep unwed. Luciana. Not this, but troubles of the marriage bed. Adriana. But were you wedded, you would bear some sway. Luciana. Ere I learn love, I will practice to obey. Adriana. How if your husband start some other where? Then Luciana. Till he come home again, I would forbear. Then Adriana. Patience unmoved, no marvel though she pause, then can be meek that have no other cause. We wretched soul, bruised with adversity, we bid be quiet when we hear it cry. But were we burdened with like weight of pain, as such or more would we ourselves complain. So thou, that hast no unkind made to grieve thee, with urging helpless patience wouldst relieve me. But if thou live to see like right bereft, this full begged patient in thee will be left. Luciana. Well, I will marry one day, but to try. Here comes your man. Now is your husband nigh. Entered Romeo of Ephesus.
William Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice, Act 3, Scene 1. It's Shylock's speech. To bait fish withal. If it will fit nothing else, it will feed my revenge. He had disgraced me and hindered me 500,000. laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, doubted my bargains, cooled my friends, hated mine enemies. And what's his reason? I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions? Fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer, as a Christian is. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you in the rest, we will resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humility? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be by Christian example? Why? Revenge? The villainy you teach me, I will execute, and it shall go hard, but I will better the instruction.
A breeze ruffled the neat hedges of Private Drive, which lay silent and tiddy under the inky sky, the very last place you would expect astonishing things to happen. Harry Potter rolled over inside his blanket without waking up. One small hand closed on the letter beside him, and he slept on, not knowing he was special, not knowing he was famous, not knowing he would be woken in a few hours' time by Mrs. Darcy's scream as she opened the front door to put out the milk bottles, nor that he would spend the next few weeks being prodded and pinched by his cousin Dudley. He couldn't know that at this moment people meeting in secret all over the country were holding up their glasses and saying in hushed voices, "To Harry Potter, the boy who lived."
These are difficult and trying times. In days of physical isolation and social distancing, this video is our endeavor at celebrating World Theatre Day on the 27th of March 2020. The recordings were made by the individual participants at their respective homes and have been compiled and collated by our 4th semester student, Pritam Majumdar. I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of the department for being a part of it. We enjoyed making the recordings, sharing them, and listening to them as well. And we hope all of you would enjoy listening to this video. Stay safe, stay home. Thank you.